ngiphinde ngibingelele babukele emakhaya bafowethu. Kusayiyo le ndaba bafowethu ngomhlangano obulapha ezweni laseMelika izolo phakathi kwamnumzana uTrump kanye naye uCyril umfowabo Ramaphosa bafowethu. Hlukene imbono bafowethu, hlukene amagumbi bafowethu, abanye bavuma abanye bayiphika bafowethu. Bafowethu ake sizwe ukuthi abantu bathini.
Umphakathi awuneme ngale meeting. Nami sengithi ake ngiphawule nje ngombono wami bafethu. uRamaphosa ngizoke ngithi kumxolela kancane. Ngani uRamaphosa ugolozile ngale Starlink. Sikamqambeli bafethu amanga. uRamaphosa uqinile amasendo wagoloza, yezwa. Baphuca South Africa ama-funds wagoloza wayithulela. Bamzama ngalento abantu abamhlophe bemninda wayithulela nje uRamaphosa. Kusobala kodwa ukuthi as a businessman i-disadvantage ke ukuba no president or businessman. As a businessman ikhona into abambambe ngayo. Emsukumisile wahamba waya group ethu wathi ndoda wahamba yokuncengela siyokhuluma nale ndoda le. As ama business associates. Leyanto it's not about ukuba o president, it's about ama business associates, yabo. I-meeting ibimbalana neStarlink. Yonke le ntsambatheka yokukhuluma ngoMalema abantu abamhlopha into nje leyo eyenzela ukuthi kuluthwa abantu khona bezothi but i-meeting it was about iStarlink. And ugolozile uRamaphosa. Ngeke ngize ngimqambele bafethu amanga. Ngiyamthethelela lapha. Ikhona into abambambe ngayo wasethini uRupert, we need your technology, we need your technology. Ngoba that was a point of a meeting. Ubani noRupert azathi we need your technology. Uphuma kuliphi iParliament? Inkinga nje sinawo South Africa serious ile yalamaqembu. Lamaqembu lawa asekho isidingo sokuthi adivide if ngempela apush iagenda efanayo yokuseve interest abantu abamnyama, but caca ngosobala ukuthi hayi abapush lokho. Bapush izisu zabo nabo if bekwazi ukuthi baxabana kanjani bebanga ipower. Abantu babashiya phi kuleyo power yabo. Asinayo opposition party in South Africa manje. So yes say because nibonile ukuthi iDA into eyodwa. Yonke lanto sekuyinto eyodwa le.
Economics is based on facts. It's not based on feelings, right? The United States is the world's largest economy. It's just that simple. It has the world's largest military industrial complex, the world's largest health industrial complex, the world's largest advertising industrial complex. The United States still is the economic center of gravity around which the world turns. You can feel about that however you feel about that, but facts don't really care about your feelings. And so there isn't a scenario that is tenable where South Africa thrives as a country and the United States is not part of the conversation of trade. It just isn't possible, right? And so I think it's pretty clear that it was necessary for the president to go there. He doesn't need yours or my permission to do it. But I do just want to say, just take a moment to think about how President Ramaphosa has handled the number of months that have led up to this, the number of comments and conversations that have taken place, even some of the diplomatic fallouts that have taken place, the diplomat for South Africa being basically thrown out of the US, and how he's held his sinew. And I think today, whether or not you like President Ramaphosa, and believe me when I tell you that I have various differences, sometimes with his politics, often with his words, and even more often than that with his actions or the lack of thereof, you have to give it to the man who knew how to hold his mouth and hold his tongue until he was in a position where he could speak to President Donald Trump directly. But for me, I think the president did well. I do think, though, that the winner of this conversation, the standout success, without question, was Team South Africa. No.
Trump versus Ramaphosa. There are only two outcomes to this scenario. The details might differ, but generally speaking, there are two outcomes. This image here is a representation of the first outcome on a rollback of black economic empowerment and a cancellation of expropriation without compensation. Because to be honest, in the modern world that we live in 30 years after democracy in South Africa, it is unconstitutional to seize people's property.
A group of older men gathered in Washington to gossip about me. That's what Julius Malema said about the meeting between Donald Trump and Cyril Ramaphosa. Malema doesn't seem worried after he became the unexpected focus of the high-profile meeting at the Oval Office. During the meeting, Trump raised the issue of farm murders and land expropriation in South Africa, asking for the lights to be dimmed and directing attention to a screen next to Ramaphosa. A video montage of Malema's Malema's past speeches played, including footage of him singing Anna Live the Farmer. This is a controversial chant that has drawn criticism over the years. Shortly after the meeting, Malema posted on X, which is formerly known as Twitter. He said, "A group of older men gathered in Washington to gossip about me. No significant amount of intelligence evidence has been produced about white genocide."
President Trump is going to go down in history for being one, if not the best president of the United States, period. Because he's hit a level like the rest of us. We don't want to hear the sorry, sad stories. And we don't want to hear any more lies. We've been lied to long enough. Did you guys see that he met with the president of South Africa? And President Trump and his no-nonsense, it is so refreshing to see. Like, listen. So basically, one of the reporters said, "What is it going to take for you, Donald Trump, basically, to admit there's no genocide against white people in South Africa?" And then this happened.
What will it take for you to be convinced that there's no white genocide in South Africa?
Well, I can answer that for the president. It's for him. No, seriously.
I'd rather have him answer.
Yeah, I'd rather answer that. It will be.
Our president will respond to you.
Yeah, let me.
Thank you.